As of today, the number of cases reported from sub-Saharan Africa is 233 cases in 4 days. In other countries, we have seen how the virus actually accelerates after a certain tipping point. So the best advice for Africa is to prepare for the worst and prepare today.
Tonight, COVID-19 spreads across Africa.
Until recently, most countries in Africa had escaped the worst of the coronavirus pandemic. Now cases are rising across the continent.
Africa has reached a crucial moment in its fight against coronavirus. There are now more than 5,000 cases of COVID-19. And infections have been reported in virtually all of the 54 countries that make up a continent of 1.2 billion people.
I am optimistic that it is possible for the countries in sub-Saharan Africa to break the transmission.
On the 8th, which was yesterday, we followed that first session with a resource mobilization, and in which Sierra Leoneans across this country were generously donating goods and money. In less than 2 hours, I'm pleased to say, my brothers and sisters from the diaspora and friends rose to the occasion, and we raised almost close to $20,000 in 2 hours.
There is this fine line difference between international peace and security and human security. What purpose international security serves if it doesn't serve the existence of humanity at the end of the day? So we are pushing the Security Council to come out with a strong statement in solidarity with African countries, with emerging economies, so that we can move in a concerted way.
It is paramount that we move away from using a uniquely state-centric approach, a fragmented approach, to adopt a coordinated, sustained, and robust multilateral strategy.
How are we going to prevent COVID-19 or like Ebola or any other disease, other emergencies that are coming if we are not having infrastructure, if people don't have access to the services or medicine, or those services and medicines are not available, or those services or medicine are not affordable. So those are very important things that we need to be thinking of, and building the infrastructure for Africa, for the countries that need, identifying the gaps and so on.
I'd like to suggest as a psychologist that we do not use the word social distance, particularly with regard to Africa, because we are a social community, but instead physical distance. We want 6 feet of physical distance, because it is research that shows in psychology that social connectedness with Ebola and with SARS and many of those disorders, it was the people coming together. And ultimately, when they were able to group together, but even not, when they were helping each other, is exactly what calms people's panic.
In Africa, we really need to turn to the untapped resources, grassroots, because in order to spread the message of public health, I think we need the healers, the faith leaders, and the elders, and paramount chiefs, and those people that the communities usually have, usually trust, to spread the message of public health measures that we allocate. That's run contrary to the cultural norms of many of the African countries. Telling them to distance from their loved ones is a kind of hard sell.
Music right now is being used in a very powerful way in several African countries, where entertainers, artists are coming together and using their music to make music and music videos to disseminate information about this disease and about how people can take precautions to protect themselves. So young people are being very innovative and using music in a very constructive way. And because young people happen to be very good when it comes to computer skills. And I'm seeing in some countries such as DRC, Congo, where young people actually, without waiting for the government, took the initiative and started building websites where they could congregate and make information available about the levels of infection and what parts of countries are being infected.
Those of us who have been at the United Nations for many years have heard this message many times over. All of us are in this together, that we know that we are all one, that we care about each other, we care about the very principles of the Sustainable Development Goals, which are the people and the planet.
We're gonna sing it together.